Hi, everyone. I can speak to the panel that we've got here and the purpose of the recording for today. It really is a great honor to have here four fantastic female IP practitioners, including myself. We practice in the area of law. What's great about this panel and this discussion is that we all practice in law, but we don't necessarily have a law degree. Which is definitely a major misconception in this field. The purpose of this conversation really is to both teach and inspire young people. So we've got a great group of interviewers who are in the high school and undergraduate level. And we're going to spotlight some of the various issues that are experienced by Blacks, especially females, in law. So to do this, each of us will be sharing a little bit about our backgrounds, any hurdles that we've experienced along the way that we've overcome, and advice for our young professionals that are entering the field or might be interested in this space. So I thought that it might be a great opportunity for us to each take an opportunity as the panelists to give a brief introduction about who we are and how we came to get to this place. And when the interviewers are going to give their question, if they feel comfortable, they can introduce themselves and then ask their question. So I can leave the floor to any of the panelists who want to jump in first and introduce themselves.
Thank you, Pia. My name is Natalie Thaw, and I am a IP lawyer and also a registered Canadian patent agent. I recently opened up my own law firm, Thaw Intellectual Property Law, and previously I was at a large international law firm for several years, doing pharmaceutical litigation and patent prosecution work. A little bit about me, I guess it's been quite a bit of journey. For years, like since childhood, I was always interested in science. I always wanted to become a scientist, work at a large pharma company, be on the bench, basically. So when I started undergrad at U of T, I specialized in biochemistry. Then I went on to do my master's at U of T in molecular genetics. So it wasn't until basically I was wrapping up my master's and writing my thesis. I didn't really think about a career in law. I was so like honed and laser focused on science and academia and even pharmaceutical industry work. So it wasn't until I was looking for a job and then interviewed at a Japanese IP law firm, actually. They were looking for a scientific consultant. And that's when I first got exposed to patent work and patent law. And I was super intrigued. And even though I didn't get that position, I that's all it really took. As soon as I wrapped up my thesis, I was focused on doing the LSAT and pursuing law and becoming a patent agent. So applied for law school, and here I am. So thank you so much for having me. And I'll pass it on to someone. Tasha, do you want to take
Thanks,
it?
Talia. So my name is Tasha DeFreitas. I am Senior IP Counsel at Multimatic. So I work in-house. I previously worked in law firms. I'm a lawyer and a patent agent, Canadian patent agent. My pathway to my career, through my careers, it has not been a straight line. Uh, I started off with my undergrad in engineering, and when I went into engineering, I was pretty convinced that I was going to go on, do my master's, do my PhD, be a researcher. And I ended up having this fourth year professional practice class where they would bring people in from the profession to talk to us. And one of the people that came in was a patent lawyer. And, I had always thought that it was science or law. It was engineering or law, that there was no way to combine the two. And when he, gave his presentation, I thought, oh, okay, there is a way that I can do both. And so, similar to Natalia, where, went and after graduating, I went and studied for the LSATs and went to law school. I went to law school with the goal of becoming an IP lawyer and eventually becoming a patent agent as well. And it's kind of funny because people talk about law school like it's a great place to go if you're not entirely certain of exactly what you want to do. And I kind of came in with a really singular idea of what I wanted to do, and I'm glad that it that I was right in the guts that this was something I wanted to do. I really enjoy it. I enjoy I'm working very closely with engineers and just really innovative, creative people. And I get to wear my engineering hat and also get to wear my legal patent agent hat. So, thanks for having me here. Great. Happy to speak with everyone here.
So I'm Antoinette Boujé-Chum. I'm an associate and technical advisor at the law firm BLG. I'm based in Ottawa. So for me, growing up, I thought I wanted to become a medical doctor. So I was curious about how the body worked. And so I went ahead and did my undergraduate training in biochemistry. And I followed this up with a master's also in biochemistry. And for me, it was during my master's, I really had an amazing supervisor who was very engaging and hands-on with my training and development. And during my work, we had discovered something that he thought was worth patenting. So we went ahead and spoke to our tech transfer office at the time, and we were connected with the law firm, no longer in existence. And that's how I got really introduced to IP as a potential career. The agent that handled our application was someone who had a PhD as a background. So that alone intrigued me, someone that had not only a law, but also a science background. So after my master's, I went ahead and did a PhD. I still had IP in the back of my mind. It was towards the end of my PhD that I started thinking, okay, what do I want to do with this degree? I wasn't in love with academia as much as I thought I was initially. So I started exploring other career paths. I talked to a lot of professionals, one of them being Miss Beatrice, who's on the panel today. And it was actually, I have to shout her out because it was through her that I was connected. I got really introduced into the world of IP as a profession. She kind of walked me through how it's like to be a patent agent, how her day-to-day was. And I really enjoyed that. I thought I can see myself doing this. Like she's someone who's also a scientist. I can do this. So with her help, I looked around, an opening became available and applied for it. And that's how I got to where I am today.
I'm really, really happy to be here with you guys. And thanks, Antoinette, for giving me the opportunity to talk to you about what I did, what I was doing. And then I'm really glad to know that it inspired you. And then here we are on the same panel, Antoinette. So, hello everyone. My name is Beatrice Ngacha. I was born and raised in another country in Africa, in Cameroon. And when I finished my undergraduate degree there, I was happy. I was lucky enough to have to win a scholarship that brought me to Canada. And I came over here in Quebec and I did my master and my PhD. For me, I was going to be a scientist, this big scientist, just doing research and inventing stuff. At one point, even I also wanted to be a medical doctor. But finally, as I was doing my master and my PhD, I thought I would be like a researcher at a pharmaceutical company. And it was not just after when my towards the end of my PhD, the work I was doing got involved in a patent, and so I met with the person drafting that patent application. That person was a scientist, and I first thought she was a lawyer, and then she told me so she was a patent agent. And I asked her, what is it? Before that, I had never heard about even intellectual property. Never. So I asked her more about it, and then she explained to me, and it kind of just clicked like, wow, that's what I want to do. So finally, I finished up my PhD, and then I started a postdoctoral fellowship, but it didn't last long. I jumped into the field. Yeah, I got hired by a firm as a technical consultant in Ottawa, and yeah, I became a registered patent agent, and I did that. And at the same time, I was really thinking into doing law. And the firm I was with was very supportive. They allowed me to go to law school while I was working. So that's what I did. I went to Ottawa U. I got my law degree, and then I moved to a firm in Montreal here, so where I am. So I'm with the firm Levry in Ottawa, in Montreal, and I'm a partner at that firm. Yes. So anyway, I look forward to chatting more about you and sharing other stuff. But right now, that's me.
Thank you so much. So for me, I'll round out the panel. My name is Pia. I'm a partner here at Aird Berlis. And I practice in the life sciences space. I'm a patent agent in that space. And I definitely didn't think about being a patent agent when I was coming up. Much like Antoinette, I was in the sciences and also did biochemistry. I think that's how we ended up meeting each other at school. And I thought for sure, medicine, that's all that I want to do. But I had a bit of a veer in my trajectory when I started graduate school. I enjoyed the research, the project, and thought that I wanted to see that through. But I knew also that I didn't want to be an academic. So, in trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do, I was a part of a student seminar one time, and it was a patent agent that gave a talk, and I just thought that patent sounded so cool, and that might be an interesting career path. And that's what led me here. It was an ad that I saw for a patent agent trainee. That's how you start in the profession. And I took a stab in the dark because they wanted a PhD in life sciences. And every other interview I was trying to get, you needed so many different skills and aspects that you can speak to of your character, which I didn't have. All the clinical aspects when you think about getting into pharma. So that was a little bit discouraging, but knowing that the entry here was just your scientific education was almost the kind of, okay, maybe this is the path that I should take. And so I did, and it's been a wonderful ride. So, knowing that I didn't know about IP, I'm really happy to be a part of a panel like this and have Black female professionals that are in IP to really hopefully inspire the next generation. And if anything, just bring awareness to the field. We can start with the questions. And if you feel comfortable introducing yourself, you can do that. But if you don't, there is no obligation. So I'll let the first student proceed.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mira Nelson. I'm a grade 12 student from Durham District School Board, who is also part of the Leadership by Design program in Toronto, and I have interests in both STEM and business. So my question for the panel today is, what advice would you give to students with an interest in life sciences that are also curious about IP law, but unsure whether law school or patent agent path is right for them? For example, should students focus on research internships or law internships through their undergraduate career?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Mira, for the question. I would say that personally, if you're not sure about what path to take, whether it's law school or the patent agent path, I would say, continue to focus on the studies and science. I don't think it'll ever be a wasted effort. If you end up pursuing patent agent, like the patent agent path and prosecution and drafting, and if you're interested in that and drafting, reviewing patent applications and working with inventors, etc., like IP law firms, and even, government positions, to become a patent examiner, they're going to be looking for, very like your skill set, right? So, graduate degrees, whether it's your master's, a PhD, etc. So, I don't think it'll steer you wrong if you just continue down that path if you're not sure. And if you end up, pursuing a career in law, if you're interested in litigation, pharmaceutical regulatory work, licensing, strategy work, having a science background and potentially, a graduate degree isn't gonna hurt ever. Like, it's gonna be very useful. It'll help you better understand your clients, their businesses, what works for them and the field. And, similarly with patent litigation, again, it's gonna help you, grasp the science more readily. So I think, it'll going down the science route will never steer you wrong, and you can decide later, like many of us. So in terms of, action items, I guess, what to do, I think is a bit of a balance. I think, while you're going down the path, like the science route, like obviously research opportunities are definitely important. Getting that exposure to bench work, and working with professors, building those relationships are important. But then again, on the other hand, you also want to start making a bridge for yourself if you think that you might want to transition into law. So, gaining exposure to law firm operations through like internships is very helpful and useful. Speaking to law students, looking for mentors, and that'll also help you make decisions down the road and get you more insight.
I definitely agree with Natalia. Degree, undergraduate in science would never hurt. Whatever path you finally end up taking into intellectual property. And for some path even, it's necessary. Having a science degree or engineering degree is very interesting in the field. And so later on, if you so you can work as in the field without even being a lawyer, as some of us here, and just relying on your scientific degree. And then also, so now doing that, while doing that, maybe I would add two other things that you should maybe kind of be curious about. Like you really need to be curious about things, how things work around you. Whatever in your life, like things around you, how do they work? That's interesting. If you have that kind of mind to be curious, to try to know how things work, that would help a lot. And also another thing, you should really hopefully, naturally, you like to read because there's a lot of reading involved in what we do in intellectual property. So if you like to read, that's good. But if you don't, maybe try to work on that field as well, on that front as well. Try to be able to love reading. Like it's not an issue for you to just reading stuff and be interested in. Okay, I will just stop there. But I definitely agree with Natalia. A science degree and the undergraduate level is a must. It's a plus. It's important.
I agree wholeheartedly with Natalia and Beatrice, especially about the part about reading and writing, because as a patent agent, as a lawyer, you write, you read and you write. That's what you do, right? What your job is as a patent agent is to take the idea and turn it into the story of the invention so that it's digestible for an examiner and ultimately digestible for a jury if it comes to that, if it has to be defended. And so it's really getting curious about little questions, little things like, well, what if we do this? What if we do that? Trying to, when I draft, I try to get as broad a protection as I can. And so I ask the question, well, if we move this here, would it still function the same way? Would we still get the same kind of idea? So really, even though it's a legal field, as a patent agent, you're working in the legal field, you are still very much a scientist. You're still very much an engineer. And it also is comforting for your clients to know that you have a background like they do, that you can speak the language. So again, your science degree, your engineering degree will never be wasted. Never.
I'll chime in and say I agree with everything that everyone has said so far. I think maybe I'll add the importance of really stepping out of your comfort zone and getting to know as many people as possible. So for me, I always say begin with an end in mind. So if you think that a patent agency is the path for you, seek out patent agents right now. Talk to them. Find out how their work day-to-day life is. Can you see yourself doing that? Do you think it's something that you would actually enjoy? And the same thing on the law side. Google's available, LinkedIn, connect with as many people as you can, get exposure. And then from there, I think be strategic in aligning how you spend your summers. So instead of working at, let's say, a grocery or a clothing store, maybe try and get an internship if you can, trying or a research position, assistant position. So just get as much exposure as you can, but be strategic and start with that. For me, start with the end goal in mind and then kind of work your way backwards from there and then decide whether or not if the path is for you.
I definitely agree with everything that's been said, and I'll maybe change the direction a little bit in respect of like an educational requirement to be in this field, because I know that that is a little bit of a misconception too. You definitely don't need to be a lawyer or have a law degree to practice as a patent agent. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. But I think fundamentally, if you know what type of law that you would like to practice, that will kind of govern whether you should be going to law school or whether you should stick with the sciences and get in that way. So for myself, my experience with law was suits, Law and Order. And I knew that I didn't see myself in a courtroom defending anything. Like I love to watch it on TV, but it's not for my life beyond that. So I knew that I wanted to just use my science degree in a career path. So the law school end of things was not for me, but I tip my hat to all the lawyers that are on the panel here that have done it. That's fantastic. But I know myself, and that was not my end goal. But if you are interested in things, like more contractual agreements or licensing or being in the courtroom and defending clients with respect to invalidity or validity of their patents or infringement of their patents or something like that, then for sure the law degree route is going to be for you and it's going to be a necessity. But if you think, you know what, I want to sit behind the desk, I'll argue with an examiner all day, but I'm not getting in the courtroom and doing that, then for sure use the science degree and become a patent agent and you can advocate for your clients.
Hello, my name is Miriam. I'm a grade 12 student and I'm hoping to pursue engineering in the future. It's been really refreshing hearing about some people that have done an engineering degree and then switched to law since I was originally really interested in law and I really enjoyed my law class. I fast-tracked it. So it's really nice knowing that that is a possibility in the future. My question is about your definition of success. As I've grown, I've had different definitions of success, especially in different courses, different subjects. So, early in your academic or professional career, did you have a different definition of what success looked like? And if so, how has your definition of success evolved in the field over time?
I guess I can start it off. When I started out in engineering, like I said, I had the vision that I was going to do my master's, my PhD. I was going to be a researcher. That was what I was planning to do. And then when I went into law, I think partly because I wasn't aware of the different sort of roles you can have in law, I thought, okay, I'm going to work in private practice and I'll become partner. And then, you manage your own business when you're a partner within the law firm. And that's kind of what I thought of as success. And it is success. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I think no matter what, success for me is, do I really enjoy what I'm doing every day? I really do. I never have the same day twice, which is something that was really important to me. But I enjoy what I'm doing. I work with engineers. I work very closely with engineers. I, literally sit in the office. My office is next to the chief technical officer. And, he's been in the field, the automotive field for, 35, 40 years. And so it's it for me, success is I enjoy what I do. I can, I can pay my bills. I mean, let's be honest. That's important too, right? But really enjoying what I do and really seeing a future with an organization, right? That there's that culture that I like, um that complexity of work that I want. And so that for me is what success is now.
Tasha, really, I completely agree with you. For me, success is, am I enjoying myself in that work, in that career? Am I enjoying myself? Am I enjoying what I'm doing? That's for me success. At the beginning it was not that. For me, success was that position. Like within the organization, who am I? I wanted to be like almost the boss. That for me, that was success. Even though at that time I didn't even know what that boss will be doing, but just being at the top for me was the success. But right now, for me, success is really enjoying what I do. Okay, so and to do that, it doesn't come overnight, really. At the beginning of a career, you really need to take the time to learn that work, that job, learn how it works, to be able to be good at it. And once you are good at it, you feel at ease, you understand things easily, quite easy, relatively easily, and you are really good with what you are doing. And for me, that's success. So I am a partner at a law firm, at a big law firm in Quebec. But for me, just that's not really, I don't say that's my success, being a partner at that law firm. For me, success right now is that I am enjoying what I'm doing. And really the combination of science and law, for me, I love it. I interact a lot with scientists, like Tasha just explained, because we work with inventors, and they are bright, these people, and then you interact with them, you understand what they are doing. That makes me happy, and for me, that's success.
I totally agree with Beatrice and Tasha. It's really about enjoying what you do. And for me, starting my own law firm has been such an enjoyable journey. I guess for me, like I really enjoy the day-to-day working with inventors and clients one-on-one, and helping them solve whatever issues in front of them for their innovation, for not an issue but like, and helping them plan and grow and being a part of that. And one thing I also enjoy is that I find is part of the success, what I've now understand to me to be success is having a meaningful impact in our community, and look like helping others come up, and uplifting others, supporting others in their community, Black lawyers, Black patent agents, everybody. I think that building that community, supporting others is so important, and I really love that I'm able to like dive into that and do more of that type of work, and not work but like do that. I feel at ease. I feel good.
I will chime in and say the same. I think for me, early on, success to me just looked like getting my degrees because that was what was required of me or expected of me from my parents. So I made sure that I got all my credentials first. After that, it's changed over time, but I think right now, as the panelists have said, for me, success is just being happy in the role and with whatever it is that you're doing. Having autonomy over your work is very important. Another thing is just doing, I think Tasha had mentioned this, like doing something that stretches you intellectually. You want to be in a role where you're continuously growing and learning new skills. So I think for me, that would be an important mark of success. And then lastly, being rewarded for your time and your expertise. I mean, as Tasha said again, you got to pay your bills. So it's nice to be rewarded for doing something you love and doing it well.
So we're clearly a panel of very like-minded individuals because I have zero to add. I echo all of the sentiments. I mean, if you can do a job that you love, you wake up every day and you're like, I can't wait to get to work to see what's on my desk, you've won. That's just my personal thing, like whatever feeds your spirit and makes you feel good. That to me is what success is. But for sure, in the beginning, it was a lot like Antoinette. You want to make sure you get that degree. And then for me, that you apply that degree. So, that was the first stage of success. But now being in the field, learning, continually learning, being a professional student, which I thought I was always going to be. And, I'm getting paid to basically be a professional student because you're always learning about a very interesting invention, and dialoguing with your colleagues and inventors and other scientists is definitely very rewarding. And then finally, the icing on the cake, having events like this, connecting with the community and making sure that young people that look like us, that don't occupy this space strongly, are aware of these opportunities and hopefully will come in and we can fill up the numbers in the group.
Hello, my name is Maurice. I'm a grade 11 student and I am very interested in biochemistry and pharmaceutical sciences. So I'm very excited to be participating in this today. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your experience as Black women in the STEM and law space. Has it kind of changed the way that you think or you problem solve? And can you share any stories of times you've had to advocate for yourself and how did you do that?
Thank you so much, Maurice, and for the question. It's it's such an interesting, I guess, perspective we have, like navigating this field. I mean, obviously, first of all, as Pia was mentioning, We need more Black women in STEM and in the IP space. That's something that we have to work on, is getting our numbers up and encouraging others to join. And I think we've all experienced this where, it's something I guess you get used to as you move through life, in different spaces, where you're, the only Black female in a class or science department or a lab or, and then you go on and we're used to being the only Black female in an, IP department or in a firm, at a firm. And it's something you just have to navigate, as we all do, and you develop tough skin. You continue to work harder and you shine through your work, and you just continue to show how talented you are and do the best to encourage and support others who are coming up behind you. So, you know, a lot of it, I think, is, in terms of how we experience this, like, it's how we probably all feel collectively. It's hard to put into words, but it's something that we all have to navigate. And in terms of how it shapes, in terms of problem solving, it's uh, you definitely have to advocate for yourself and take up space. And, it's, I guess, it's part of developing that tough skin and learning how to navigate these spaces, learning how to navigate microaggressions, learning how to not shrink in a room, standing on your work, letting your work speak for itself sometimes, even, like, or most of the time, all of that. And, in terms of a time or example where I'd had to advocate, even, it's I would say that if you do face a challenge, and I think we all have, you definitely, and there's going to be times that you will, and there's going to be times that you want to say something and advocate for yourself. You've worked hard, you've been diligent, you've built your reputation, you've earned your position. And that's the thing, like, nothing's just given and handed to us. We have to, work hard for everything that we achieve, everything that we, obtain, and wherever we get to. So it's really important not to let anyone else make you feel less than and make you feel small, and don't shrink in rooms. It's we're quite often the only one in the room, but shine. God put you there, shine brightly. And so if it's, for example, let's say, if you want to, like, you've done all the work for preparing for a client meeting, you've done the memo, you've done the research, or you drafted the motion materials, and you want to attend a meeting, be proactive. Don't just hand it off to the senior member and, let them run with it. Like, be proactive, ask to join the meeting or join the call. Try to be proactive about that. So, I guess it's good to take ownership in a way, for your work, and it's also to help you get more learning opportunities and show others that you really do want to stand behind your work and you want to be part of the team and help and get more immersed in the file. So yeah, that's what I would say. I hope that answered. I hope that was a decent example of how you can try to advocate for yourself and push yourself forward.
I totally agree. I think, especially as Black women, sometimes there's almost a societal push for us to sort of make ourselves smaller and to sort of blend in, to not stand out. And the thing is that independent thinking and being able to advocate for yourself and being able to speak up and ask questions and really be proud of the work that you're producing. That's really, really important. That's actually a really important skill. Like, I work in-house. I am one of two IP lawyers there. And, I have to take initiative, right? If I don't ask the question, maybe the question doesn't get asked, right? And so, being a woman and being a Black woman, I learned to really speak up, right? Ask the questions. And even, like, we have our legal department meetings and we have different discussions about different issues. And I've learned over the years to really be a participant in the meeting, not to shy, because you have something really valuable to contribute, right? You're there for a reason. Like Natalia said, that, God put you there for a reason. So again, standing up for yourself, not fading into the background, sort of resist that temptation to sort of, not want to stir things up too much. That I think that's the best way to sort of stand out and stand up for yourself.
Thanks, Natalia and Tasha. Very interesting point that you guys brought up. And I won't be long. I will just say a thing. So all of this come down to being really confident and showing up. And another aspect of being like assertive, being assertive a little bit, sometimes it will depend on someone's personality. Someone who's a little bit like introverted would be have difficulty doing that. So one thing I've found common to everybody, to all of us, that we need to do is like we need to do to advocate to ourselves is to do a good job. Okay, really at the basis, when you do a good job, your work just speaks for it, speaks for you. You don't really, if you don't have the personality to be assertive, the work will just speak for you. And that has been, I would say that has been my case. I'm not someone who have the facility to be assertive. I'm most of the type of introverted person. I'm an introvert. So usually I would not be the person kind of speaking up. So, but this advice someone gave me right at the beginning, like you let your work speak for you. You do a good job. And to do that, this is something I said earlier, and I will repeat it, is that at the beginning, when you start that job, that career, take the time to really, really learn it. Sometimes you think you already understand, you kind of taking shortcuts. Don't do that. Really take the time to put in a good basis. It will just help you propose and just go. So, bottom line for me, I think it's like for a good advocacy for you is to really do a good job, show up and be there, and people should see that you want to be there, you are owning what you are doing, and you really want to do that. You are putting in all the efforts, and also helping people around you, being there.
Miss Beatrice, I so agree with your point. As someone who is introverted myself, it's very hard for me to speak up, especially in certain spaces. Oftentimes, I'm in rooms where I'm the only, so I know I'm very visible. People are aware of me, but at the same time, that can make me feel invisible. Like, do they really see me? So what I've learned through my short time in IP is, like you said, just let your work speak for itself. I work with partners who know that I'm very diligent and meticulous. I don't have to say much. They can look at my work product and they say, okay, here's someone that can be trusted. It is nice to have confidence. I think that confidence appears in various forms. And I think for me, my confidence comes across in my writing. Not so much orally, but in my writing, it comes across. And I just lean in that as my strength. So I would say whatever it is that you're most comfortable in doing, like make that shine for you, but just make sure you're being true to yourself.
This has been really great. I completely agree with everything. The only thing that I would add is, just making sure that you show up for yourself, that you are your own cheerleader. Being positive, positive words, self-affirmation, because that's going to help you take your career to the next level. It's going to help you be the advocate that you need to be for yourself, because you can get into systemic things, but maybe it's just even you not believing that you are worthy of that thing that you deserve. So, if you can find it in yourself to just dig deep and know, what, I am here for a reason, as we've said, God did put me here for a place and this is my purpose, then live in that purpose and just make sure that people see you, that they hear you, and you do it as professionally as possible, because we deserve the world. We deserve everything in this world for sure. So as long as you believe that in your core, you can have it. So we'll go on to the fourth interviewer now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Valerie. I'm a first year student at the University of Toronto and I'm studying life sciences. And all through high school, I was pretty set on the law path. In fact, I did much better in my law classes than in my math and science classes. But I always thought that I had to choose one and I didn't know what workspace I would end up in. So I'm very happy to be here talking to you all and learning so much about the intersection of it all. And so this panel I see is comprised of a lot of professionals that don't all work in law firms. So can you speak to the advantages of your workplace? Or for example, if you had to move from a law firm to a company or started your own firm, can you speak to why you made the move and what you appreciate or dislike about each environment?
I can start off on that. So I started my legal career, oh my goodness, it's like 15, 16 years ago. Wow, time really flies. And like I said before, I thought, I go into law, I'm going to be partner or counsel. That was going to be the path. And as I became a senior associate, and I was working as a senior associate at a law firm, I I kind of was at a bit of a crossroads in my career where one was, okay, I can really go hard and go make sure I put myself on the partnership track or the council track. Uh, or I can look to see what else there is available, like what other options I had. And, I have always enjoyed working closely with clients and, I had a couple of clients who were in-house counsel at their companies. And I just thought, oh, it's so much fun. When they talk about what they do every day, it just seemed like so much fun. You're right in the action. Sometimes it means that, there are fires that come up. There's a wide variety of things that you work on. And so that for me was really I decided to take the chance to work in-house and I really enjoy it. I don't miss having to bill every minute of my time or having to dock it every minute of my time. That's something that is, I appreciate. But what I really enjoy about it is that I get to be closer to where and how the decisions are made. Do we pursue a patent for this? What is the strategy? Where are we filing? Even just like at the beginning I love being able to see all the prototypes. There's a 3D printer in the engineering facility, and I have gotten to play with 3D printed models of new inventions, right? And just talking to the people, just sharing the same space with the inventors, and you see the enthusiasm, and you see, it might be something that it might be a small part, but you then realize how important that part is and just really being really immersed in the process of it and going from, drafting the application, prosecuting the patent application, then also negotiating agreements with customers and kind of seeing it from all those different sides. That for me is something that I really enjoy about working in-house.
So I work at a law firm. So the law firm that Tasha left to go in-house. And she had mentioned there are so many say negative points at working at law firm, like putting down, recording all the minutes of everything you are doing. And another big thing I would mention is that so a law firm is like a business with many people, a big business. But when you are here, there you are like you own your own business. So you need to develop your own business. You need to, and which means you need to have clients. And that part I right even at the beginning and even up today, I found it not that easy. Let's just say that. Not that easy. And because of that, I've always thought sometimes, at some periods in my career, I thought of really also leaving a law firm to go at a company like Tasha. And just one thing stopped me from doing that. And it really depends on the personality of everyone. So the one thing was that at a law firm, what I enjoy is being able to see various types of technology. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this, I'm a chemist. My background is chemistry, okay? So, and there are so many things in life that relate to chemistry, like pharma, for example, and also today, very hot, all the batteries that goes into electric car, electric vehicles, okay? There's a component that in the battery that is really lots of chemistry, particularly a specific type of chemistry called electrochemistry. So I like that diversity. So I have clients in the pharma field, I have clients in electrical vehicle, in electric. I like that. So that's the only thing that stopped, I would say, really, the only thing that stopped me from moving from a law firm to a company. Where in the company, you will be dealing maybe only with the technology of that company. So it's something for you to consider. If you are comfortable, like Tasha, doing that technology of your company, that's great. And you see all the positive points she's mentioned for working at a company like that. But at a firm, really, there are many challenges. And the one thing I really enjoy is being able to touch at various technology.
I was just going to follow Patrice just because we're at the law firm. And I was hoping that I could shed maybe a more positive light on it. But it definitely does depend on everybody's niche. I hear Tasha 100% with the billable hour. That's definitely a thing, and it can be tough for sure. But once you get into it, you kind of just it becomes a way of life. It's like, okay, my time is measured in 6-minute intervals. I just have to do that. So it's really not the worst thing in the world. But for me, the law firm experience has just been an opportunity really to expand connections and networks. So my start was in a boutique firm, still with the same group, but we moved to a mid-size law firm maybe about 10 years ago. So I have a little bit of the boutique experience and I've got a lot of the bigger law firm experience. And there's definitely pros and cons to both sides. But what I've seen from the moving from the boutique to the larger, it's just having so much more exposure to people, to resources. I've really appreciated this. I mean, even this webinar recording that we're on is because I reached out to really fantastic colleagues here in my marketing group and I said, hey, we've got to get this done. Can you help? And they wanted to help because they see the power in this and they're just fantastic people. So being able to do something like that was made affordable to me because I'm in this law firm. So increasing your network and just the resources that are available to you, the contacts. I came over as a trainee and I was an associate at the time when I came here. So I opened the door to so many more associates that maybe don't practice in IP, but at least we're of the same age and stage of career that we could kind of bounce ideas off each other and be friendly. Whereas in the boutique end, it was me and another trainee, so I didn't have that exposure. So there's things like that that are really advantageous in being in this area. And for sure, I can end off too on like a budgetary, if you've got the budget to kind of go to the conferences and to expand your network even further, because that is how you'll be able to build your book in the future, which Patrice was talking about as one of the kind of tougher things. For sure, it definitely can be. But you've got those individuals here at the firm that are willing to kind of facilitate that growth. So you're not necessarily doing it in a vacuum, so to speak. You've got the help and support that you need.
Let me just add a minor point about, yes, I also work for a large firm. It's a full service firm, and one thing that I really love about it, especially since I'm early on in my career, is the amount of resources that you have available to you. So in my firm, we have very structured training for the associates. And I love that because, again, I get exposed to a lot of things outside of my own practice, which I love. I work with like incredibly intelligent folks. We have chemists, engineers, biochemists. And if I have a file that I'm working on, if something comes up that I feel like it's not necessarily in my wheelhouse, I can walk down the hall and say, hey, so and so, are you able to take a look at this for me? So being in a full service firm, I love that. Just the sheer number of resources and opportunities that are afforded to me, I don't think I could find elsewhere.
So my career path, I also was at a big law firm previously, and I totally echo what everyone else has said in the panel in terms of resources, training. I definitely appreciate that from Big Law, the training that you receive from, key lawyers and agents, who want to see you grow and excel. It's amazing. And I've always appreciated that. And you find those folks organically sometimes too. It's not just necessarily, your direct worker providers. It's folks in the firm who want to work with you, who are, want to see you grow. And of course, like again, you're working on so many different files, even on the litigation side, see some really interesting files, work with some really cool clients. And so there's lots and lots of learning opportunities. And, me moving to now as a solo practitioner and opening up my own firm, it's been quite a journey. I've always looked God for guidance and how to navigate through life, my career. So, when I was presented to the opportunity to leave Big Law and Bay Street and start my own firm and build my own, something different, I embraced it and trusted him. And so, I definitely appreciate the flexibility I have, the autonomy, the control. And also, like, I never really got exposed too much in terms of being like a business owner. And that's something that I've really started, like, I've really enjoyed, wearing multiple hats. It's, seeing more of the business side of law. I've really enjoyed it. It gives me a lot more perspective as well. And getting, involved in so many different aspects of a file. And also, working with a lot of other firms and solo lawyers, I've increased my network so much within the past year. Met so many amazing, truly, truly amazing people. So it's been quite a journey, but I love it. And yeah, to be honest, I don't think there's anything I actually dislike. Um, Nothing yet about being on my own. And yeah, I'm learning something new every single day.
Hi, thank you so much for speaking with us today and for all of your incredibly thoughtful responses to all of our questions. I'm really learning a lot. My name is Ifechi. I'm a high school student in the Greater Toronto area, and I have a high interest in math and economics, pursuing that in university. And I'm especially interested in STEM and how it intersects with other areas outside of STEM, like law, for example, and as well as the humanities, economics, and other fields. And one thing that's really shaped that interest and how I pursue that interest is the mentors that I have that offer career guidance and guidance in so many other ways. And I really wanted to talk about the importance of mentorship and ask you guys the importance of mentorship for Black professionals, whether those are professionals in early stages of their career or ones with a lot more experience, and how that mentorship is important in turning the tide for the underrepresentation of Black professionals in law, especially considering how the Black community is underrepresented in this field and is limited in both their access and experience to the law field. Do you have any specific positive experiences with mentorship, both as a mentor or maybe a mentee as well? And can you share that with the listeners, as well as the impact that it's had on your career progression?
And ask for the other partner to help to support me. That firm, I would say, really even helped me partially paid my tuition fee at law school. That's how much he went. So anyway, just to say that this person really had a very positive impact into my career, and he was a white male. So basic for sure. If you want to look for someone who looks like you because you relate more, or I don't know, but if you don't find someone like that around you, don't limit yourself, don't be closed. There are other people who can help as well. That's all I would say.
Yeah, I would say the same. I think when I started, I think I mentioned that for me, Miss Beatrice played a role in me entering the profession. So I had joined the Intellectual Property Institute of Canada, which is it's a professional body made up of trademarks and patent agents. They have a formalized mentorship program, and I was fortunate enough to be paired up with Miss Beatrice. And the amount of guidance that she had provided me before getting into this career was instrumental. I think she really opened my eyes and helped, like things that would have taken me longer to learn. She said, here, focus on A, B, C so that you can excel during your interviews. Focus on this. Here's what you'd be expected to do. Like she really, really helped me. And I think it's important. Now that I'm in the role, as she said, incredibly, like the person that advocates for me the most, or that has been really key in my progression, has been a white male. We may not look alike, but we share a ton in common. So I think I would advise you, oftentimes you'll be the only in the room, so it will be hard to find someone that looks like you, but don't be afraid to sort of branch out and seek connections with others that you may have that have certain interests similar to you, and perhaps they can help you grow. But I know for me, the people that have helped me a lot don't necessarily look like me, but they've been so key to my progression.
I'll follow the comments here, and I absolutely agree. For me, mentorship really is everything. And I echo the sentiment that, the person really doesn't have to look like you to share your Black skin. And there's probably advantage to that as well, because those individuals are occupying the spaces that you want to occupy. And, having somebody that doesn't look like you, that's already where you want to be, is a really good opportunity for you to have somebody who can advocate for your abilities. You're already coming, showing that you can do the job, and now you've got somebody who's in that space that can help lift you and put you in there too. So, I for sure, hands down, have to say that having mentors is vital. And I've got two fantastic mentors here. I mean, there's a plethora, but you pick and choose, and you kind of make your best mates kind of thing. And two fantastic ladies here who do not look like me, but we do, like Antoinette said, we share commonalities and interests. And the fact that they're female too really helps too, because they understand the female dynamic of the job as well. That just for sure, put me in places that I don't think that I necessarily should be, but they see what I don't see in myself, and they'll suggest that I go there, and they watch the shine and they uplift the shine. So, I think it's really important that you do have those individuals in your life. And, I think you kind of think it's maybe a one-way street too, but I think we're giving as much as we're getting from them too. So don't ever limit yourself in that as well, that it's just a one-way street. I think you can have these relationships that are quite mutual and mutually beneficial. And then with respect to the latter part of the question, in changing the situation or the issues that we have with underrepresentation, I think if you can take these ideas of mentorship and pay them forward. So being there, being in the community, being with other individuals that do look like you, that you're trying to help get a little bit further ahead, can really, really help. Because I think it's an awareness thing, it's maybe a confidence thing. But I think when you've got people that are in certain positions that you just didn't think was attainable for you, and you see somebody else doing it, it's a ray of light. It's a little bit of hope and opportunity, and definitely shows that change is happening and can happen.
Yeah, I would echo everything that Pia said. Yeah, I mean, it's I've also had a lot of great mentors along the way, and it's so important because again, like we're always, we're quite often the only in the room, and so it's always important to have somebody who's in those other rooms and have a seat at the table, who can use their political capital to really like advocate for you, to sponsor you, to help you get more opportunities. It really goes a long way. And then again, like when we are in these positions, and we get more senior, we want to be able to uplift along the way as well and support the young professionals who are coming up. So, that's building that positive feedback loop, and that cycle where we're helping others come up is super important, and we'll see more representation. And again, as Pia was saying, it's super important to have more of us in this space and also to be leaders in this space. We're so talented, and we have so much to offer, so much to give. And so, we want to advocate and support each other. So there's going to be more of us, but, and so we can also be leaders in this space, and we can do it. And we know we can, yeah, that's what I would add.
I absolutely agree with everything that's been said. I think another aspect of this, in mentoring and networking, are really closely linked together. And so and I understand it's hard if that's not something that is not necessarily natural to you to kind of go out and do it, but there are lots of groups too. I am part of, it's on the legal side, the Black Female Lawyers Network. And I have to say, I've been part of that network for at least 10 years. And it's a great, just a group support. I mean, referrals, any questions that you have, just, this seems like a really odd situation at work. Has anyone else seen anything like this? That, you know, you, I have found that really invaluable. And of course, I second the idea that your mentor doesn't have to look like you, right? That it's really about the person themselves and the connection. And so be open to making those connections. And you can meet those people at conferences. You can meet those people through official networks. You can through IPIC, as one as you mentioned before. So it's being open to finding those mentors wherever they are. And they might not necessarily match exactly what you're doing, because mentorship is also, it's not about just making sure you have someone to slay an IP, but someone who also understands your journey, right? Who maybe they work in, corporate law or something like that, but they understand, okay, this is sort of the environment that I'm working in. What, you know, that you can have some commonalities with that as well.
The only thing I would actually add too is whenever you think of mentor, and maybe it's just me, I always think of somebody who's ahead, but it's also important to think about the colleagues that you've got here that you can see that are at your age and stage. Because I think when it comes to mentorship as well, it's just somebody who can uplift you, who can be there as a support system, who can hear those conversations about, man, I went through this in the office. Is this right? Like, it's that connection, that bond, that thing that keeps you pushing forward. So don't necessarily think that it has to be somebody who's older. It could be somebody who's at your age and stage as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Mia Leslie, and I'm a grade 11 student in the Leadership by Design program. It's offered by the Lifelong Leadership Institute. And I'm also one of the student trustees for the Durham Catholic District School Board. So I serve as a student representative of on the board of trustees within my school board. So I also advocate for students across my board and ensure that they have spaces that they're comfortable in and also their voices are being heard. So I just wanted to ask, why do you think it's so important that Black female professionals like yourself engage with students and like participate in activities like this?
Oh, Mia, for me, it's very important so that you guys can see, so that you guys won't be like, for example, I was 25 years ago, like with nobody around ahead, no model. So it's important for us to attend, to participate in events like this so that you guys can see us. You guys can see that, oh, it's possible. You guys can be aware. Like most of us here, we're not at your age, we're not even aware of such a career, and we are feeling so wonderful, each of us, about this career that we want to share with you. So, and like if we are not participating in events like this, it's like having a beautiful, nice dress and not wearing it. According to me. So we are into this wonderful career that we enjoy, but we want to share that with you and maybe inspire you to also get on the career. And I take this opportunity to say that for me, participating in this panel, it's an honor. And I'm really, really happy that I had the opportunity. Pia gave me the opportunity to be here. And so basically, a short answer to your question is that I want you to see me. And I would like to inspire you.
I completely echo everything that Beatrice said. I want to make sure everyone knows that we're here and to inspire you and for you guys to join us. It's an amazing career and we get here on different paths, but we're doing it. We're successful. We're thriving, and we're enjoying ourselves, and everything is possible. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have much to add. I think another thing is to help, it's important for you guys to see all of us in different spaces, because I think oftentimes there's certain stereotypes or ideas that are tagged onto us. And, you know, I think seeing all of us in different spaces is important because it helps to break down some of those stereotypes. We're not all just, let's say, athletes or entertainers. A lot of us are doing incredibly amazing things in different roles, in different sectors. So it's important to shine a light on that so that those of us that are coming behind can see and they can say, okay, I can do that as well because so and so had done it before me.
I think it's also, and I agree with everything that's been said. I think it's also important that visibility is not just important for other Black women, but I think it's important for people who are outside of the Black experience to actually see people of color, see Black women in positions of in the profession, because I think oftentimes we can sort of self-select ourselves out of different paths just because you don't, when you picture something, like when I pictured even the idea of becoming a lawyer, I thought the options were criminal, constitutional, or corporate, none of which I am interested in. And I just thought that that was what it was. And when I thought of who a lawyer was, when I thought of who were the lawyers that I know, I mean, they were white male. And so you kind of, I kind of sort of thought, okay, maybe that's not quite for me. But I think it's really good that not only as Black women see each other, but that other people from other cultures, other backgrounds see us there as well. Just to kind of really show that we do have a place here, that we do belong.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything that's here. Coming up when I was your age, I didn't see anything like this. I'm not saying it didn't exist, but I wasn't privy to it. So I think it's just from a personal perspective, I'm trying to make the change I want to see in the world, and I'm doing it one panelist at a time. So I'm so grateful for these four ladies to be on this panel here and just share with you because, this is possible. I want you to walk away from this and say, I can do this. If I really want it, this opportunity is mine. I just have to go for it. And we're here, we're trying to create this path and have you follow right behind us. And you're only following just because you're younger. It has nothing to do with your capabilities. You are more than capable. So events like this are our opportunity to reinforce this for you so that you will stand up in your own light and your own strength and say, I got this. They did it, I'm doing it too. So if we impart anything, just empowerment and just reinforcing the idea, you're worthy, you're capable, this is for you if you want it. So this really was fantastic. Really special thank you to each one of you, my fantastic, strong Black women IP professionals. Thank you for standing or sitting in this room and being here with me and just really exemplifying what greatness is, and especially in light of Black History Month, especially in light of what's going on down south. This is such a powerful movement that is beginning. And if I keep going, I'm going to get really emotional. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks so much for being a part of this. And, if I can do anything to help you guys, I'm happy, 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 happy to do that. Just please reach out. I want you to know your capabilities, your abilities, and just know that each one of us are here in your corner. So just take what's yours. It's your birthright.
I totally agree with Tia. I'm so thankful that we've had the opportunity to come together like this and talk to one another, and share insights, experiences, and again, you know, this is like I wish I had this type of panel when I was coming up and had an opportunity to speak with more senior members in this field and get that exposure. And also like we're also like Pia said, we're here. there's going to be challenges and hurdles you face along the way. And, God's going to give you strength to face them. And, we're also here to be a sounding board to help you through them. And, if you ever need anything, please reach out. Like if something's happened, we've most likely been through it too and had to navigate it. And if there's anything we can share, anything we can do, support you, we want to. So thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for inviting us, number one. And today was just really inspirational. It was amazing to hear all of your stories. And again, like you said, sometimes we hear of Black professionals, but we never really see who you guys or what you guys do. So it was really inspirational to be here today. So thank you.
Yeah, I agree with every word Mira said. I also thought it was extremely inspirational and echoing Mira's thoughts, like seeing actual Black professionals in front of me and seeing how well they're doing and how everything worked out is really helpful, especially in the phase of like applying to universities and trying to figure out what I want to do. Also, I hope to connect with you guys. I'll see if I can find you guys on LinkedIn just in case I need any further help or guidance in the future. And thank you so much for spending some time.
Yeah, I just want to echo what everyone has said. I think especially being part of a program like Leadership by Design, where we're really empowered as Black students to pursue any of our passions in these professional spaces and knowing our worth and being confident in the right to be in these spaces. I've really appreciated this conversation and really seeing those lessons in a truly new and practical light, especially in a competitive field like law and intellectual property. So really just want to thank every single one of you for sharing your thoughts, for using your wisdom and experience with students like us. And really, I can speak on behalf of all of us when I say that we're really going to carry it into every field that we go into. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I just want to add, I feel like my colleagues really encapsulated everything that we're feeling, but I just want to thank each and every one of you for spending the time to talk with us. I know I really learned a lot and it was really inspirational just knowing that, we do have spaces and we do have mentors. Like even now we can connect and learn from each other and we're in this together. And I love that we can do stuff like this and come together like that. So I just want to say thank you once again. Thank you so much.
100%. I feel like everyone said, we can kind of forget that we have people like you guys here to advise us and take us along and teach us. And so it was really helpful learning everything. And we can kind of feel like you can kind of feel like you're running out of time at times. So this really helped to ease our minds and know that you can switch your field, you can stay in it, and no matter what, like you'll be okay. So thank you guys for that.
I'll just add on quickly here. Thank you so much. Like everybody else said, it's really great to see the work that you guys are doing. And it's obvious that you're very passionate about the work that you do and also reaching out to the younger generation. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity. I'm sure everybody else is as well to be here, talk to you, learn from your experiences. So thank you so much.
That's really amazing. And I should say too, thank you to each of you guys, our interviewers. You were fantastic. I'm watching you guys and I'm like, man, when I was your age, would I have been this good on film? Like, so keep doing what you're doing. You're really fantastic individuals, and the future looks just so bright with you guys in it. So congratulations to you.